let's talk about black hairstyles, particularly in video games, because we need to talk about where it's at today. It's not terrible, but there's a lot of room for improvement. But I'm gonna talk about the good and the things that we need to work on. I remember when I was a kid, I would try to create a character in a video game, and it would be so hard to make the character turn out the way I want, to look like somebody I know, look like me or any family member that I had, or some cool black person. I just couldn't immerse myself completely. Granted, I love video games, so I went to the limit as far as I could go with what I could have created, but it just didn't do enough for me. That kind of goes into the importance of black hairstyles, because I'm sure there's a lot of kids back then that grew up to my age that have the same sentiment, and there's probably a lot of kids now that want to create characters in their games or play video games where they want to see themselves and they just can't make it work. I mean, now granted, the kids nowadays, they do have Fortnite, they do have a lot of games that do have a good deal of black representation, so that's the good that I want to get to. But the importance of this conversation, I think, is for two main reasons. There's a lot of reasons, of course, but the two main reasons is, first, the portrayal of black hair in media. I think overall, especially in the West, black hair in movies, how black hair is shown in the workplace, how young black men and women grow up feeling about their hair and being told about their hair not to love their own hair, not to love the natural form of their hair, right? And in media, there was a big fight of having representation for black people to showcase their afros, their natural lock styles, because locks were seen as a bad thing at one point. And even though still today these things exist, it's getting better. The second thing is immersion in video games, because when we look at how our hair is in real life and we go to a video game and we want to create our own characters, and then you just see like this buzz cut that doesn't even have a lineup, it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, I look like this, or I want to look like this. A couple of recent games that have been doing their thing with showing black hairstyles is, first, Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3 from Larian Studios. I mean, look, the hair is immaculate, and also not only the hair is immaculate, but the face structures that you can create, the models are really well crafted. I remember I created a tiefling and she looked black, like you could just tell she had a black woman's face. I just love the Baldur's Gate 3's character creation. You can create a wide range of characters that represent the real world. Hogwarts Legacy is another one that just went off. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy really killed it when it comes to black hairstyles. They had a low cut, had a fade, they had locks, I think they had braids, like cornrows, really nice cornrows too, like really well done textures, really well done, hairstyles. Like, it was just really good. And it's the best thing ever that they put that in Hogwarts Legacy. Harry Potter is a big part of a lot of people's childhood. So when you went into that game and you created a black character, it just felt surreal. It felt dope to see yourself in Hogwarts, to see yourself in that wizarding world, looking like somebody like yourself or somebody you know. And then Fortnite's another big game that just keeps killing it with hairstyles. I mean, one of my favorite ones is a recent skin that came out was Killian. He has 360 wave. I swear, there is not any game that I've seen yet that had 360 waves. Fortnite did their thing. Fortnite was fire with their hairstyles. And I think it's good to give credit where credit's due, because I believe that we came a long way from recent console generations when it comes to black hairstyles and black face models. And you can even look at other games that I haven't mentioned, such as Street Fighter 6's New World Tour mode, or newer games such as Rise of the Ronin and Dragon's Dogma 2. There's a large leap into the care that is being taken when it comes to creating black face models and black hairstyles. And that's something that I'm really happy about. I do think that developers are listening to black voices, but I still do feel like as a gaming community and just as an industry, there's still a couple of strides that we have to make when it comes to immersifying the gaming experience for black gamers. A good example that comes to mind is the discourse that was around Elden Ring and its release in 2022. It was led with a lot of criticism from black voices about how there was a lack of black hairstyles available in the game, and a lot of people were met with counterclaims such as, you're wearing a helmet most of the time, so the hairstyles don't matter, or a large amount of the individuals that made the game are Japanese and they don't have any idea of black hairstyles and black culture. People were just downright saying it doesn't really matter, it's not that serious. And I even saw someone say it's in a fantasy world, and why would a black person be in a fantasy medieval environment? Like, fantasy doesn't really matter because it's fantasy, right? Dragons that control time, some flying general that rides on a little horse using gravity magic. I think black people should be the least of your worries there. And when it comes to the criticism of them being a Japanese company, Team Ninja, hello, Neo 2, Rise of the Ronin, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Yeah, the hair assets and the face assets don't change too much across those games, but the hair that is there looks nice, and it's an all Japanese team. We can even argue that Neo 2, Wolong Fallen Dynasty in those games didn't even need to add black hairstyles, because based on those time periods, there wasn't that many black people in Japan compared to black people in Japan today. But they still took the time to represent black gamers because they felt that people would want to create characters that would look like themselves. And even though there has been many strides when it has come to the addition of black hairstyles and black models, I think that there's also been a little bit of repetitiveness when it comes to how they create black hairstyles, specifically when it comes to the black men with locks, because lately I think black creators have talked about this, where it's just like this consistency of comb over locks in a lot of characters. You have Eddie Gordo that just released on Tekken 8 that has it, you have DJ from Street Fighter that has it, you have Echo that has it, Phoenix from Valorant, you have a skin in Overwatch for Baptiste. Look, the list goes on, and it's not saying that this hairstyle is bad. A lot of people rock it. It's a good looking hairstyle, but there's a lot you could do with locks. You can even do wicks. You saw how Hobie Brown's wicks looked in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Those wicks looked fire. You could do that. I'm sure we would love it. You could do 360 waves. Look, I put 360 waves on every character if it's up to me, but it's not up to me. There's a lot more than just comb over locks, and there's a lot more ways that locks can be put together than just adding just like a comb over. Now, it's not saying that these models look bad. These models look great. These models look fine, but it's just a critique on the variety and the expression that we can have when it comes to showcasing black hairstyles in these games. And my hope for the future is that any game that comes out, I don't even have to think twice on how well the character customization will be for black people that want to create characters that look like them. But let me know what you guys think about this topic. I just wanted to have a video about this because I'm very passionate about this topic. I think black hairstyles are a really important aspect of my gaming experience when it comes to like creating characters that look like me. But let me know what games that you've played that have black hairstyles, and really good ones too, and let me know what games you felt like should have did more. And yeah, let's have a conversation down below. I really thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm out.